wanted to for an extremely long time, ever since this build started way back in 2020 when I blew the head gasket on the black truck. Today we are headed to Virginia. We're going to pick up our sleeved 6.4 engine from Steve Burton up at New Performance Automotive. He's got it done, he's got it built for us, at least down to a long block, where I can just finish front cover, push rods, rockers, all that kind of stuff. But he's got it done, he's got it ready for pickup, so me and my wife, we're on our way up there. We're getting ready to leave. We're gonna head up there, should be there around lunch, so hopefully we can get back before dark and get it unloaded. But we're gonna top off with a little bit of fuel and make our way up there. So anyways, if you hadn't seen the last couple videos, it's diamond pistons, waggler rods, sleeve block down to a 4.125 bore. We'll go over all that once I get it back again, just in case somebody new's tuning into the videos. But yeah, it should be a good trip. We're in a blue truck, obviously, so it's getting real close to that. We're at 98,591, so we're getting real close to that 100,000 mile mark. I really don't want to roll it, but it's got to happen at some point, so we're just gonna go for it. But anyway, we'll throw in a little bit of video on the way up there, and then we'll catch up once we get the engine and once we get it back home and get it unloaded. We'll throw some videos and we'll kind of go over it once it's all there and in front of me. So y'all stay tuned. Highway miles and a little bit of traffic later, we finally made it. I don't know where he's going to want me to park.
Proceed to the route.
Siri's got to stop. Alright, well, we're going to go in here and see. You got it on?
Yeah.
We're going to go in here and get Steve paid, and we'll get him to load us up and we'll get headed back home. We'll, I don't want to bring the camera in and be shoving the camera all in the shop, but we'll get it loaded up. We'll take some videos loading it up and stuff, and then we got to stop and get fuel. We didn't stop and get fuel earlier, but when we do that, we'll get a little bit of view of the engine of the truck, and we'll be headed home. Had to stop for a little bit of fuel. Apologize for the wind noise, but not the worst. But here she is. It is loaded down. Sorry, we will get a view when we get home, but Steve already had it wrapped up, and I really appreciate him going ahead and have it wrapped up for us. We might run into a little bit of rainstorm, so that's a good thing. We need to tie this up a little bit better. But yeah, we're gonna start making the trip home, and once we get it home, we'll cut this off and we'll get the bags off where we can really look at it. And there she is. We're home. Made it in one piece, no casualties. We went through a little bit of rain, but Steve done such a good job at wrapping it up that it didn't matter. It looks great. He hooked us up with one of his billet freeze plugs. It actually uses it holds the factory freeze plug in. So you use the factory freeze plug, and then these hold them in. And he also hooked us up with, he makes these billet rear main housings. Right there you can see New Performance Auto, but he makes these billet rear main housings that are really, really nice. And they actually hold the seal in, I believe, from being pushed out. But I thought that was a really nice piece he hooked us up with too. But as you can see, the King Speed side draft, he even complimented that. He said that was a really nice piece. We got the 14 mil optic torque head studs, mounting valve springs. But yeah, I'll have to get it on an engine stand before I can show you the underneath of it. Rods, pistons, all that kind of stuff. But once we get it bolted on a stand and where we can look at it a little better, we'll look at it in a little further. But super, super happy. I've never had an engine of this caliber, so we're about to really see what she can do. All right, so obviously the next day, it was pretty late when we got home last night. By the time me and my wife got the engine off the stand, or off the back of the truck and onto the stand, it was dark, and to be honest with you, I was just ready to go to bed. But we're gonna finish the video up showing y'all kind of what all is in the engine and all put together. So let me get this unwrapped, but we bagged it up last night, so let me get this unwrapped and we'll show you what's going on. And here she is, all off the truck on the stand. Like I showed y'all yesterday, he did hook us up with his freeze plug holding. I believe I mentioned that, and the rear main seal housing. That's a really nice piece. I really like that. But we went ahead and got all our injector holes plugged off. We went ahead and taped up our intake just so nothing can get in the cylinders that way. And then we bagged it up to keep it from getting in the exhaust or anything like that. Just precautionary and underneath. I am in the process of getting the oil pan cleaned up. I got it cleaned up. I got one coat of paint on it right now. I'm kind of letting it dry. There's a fuel tank for the other truck out there, but getting the oil pan painted up. I can't put a dirty oil pan on this engine. I just can't do it. So we've cleaned that up a little bit, getting a fresh coat of paint on it. And I've got a gasket that's supposed to be here about 5:30, 6 o'clock. The other issue is, well, I'm gonna have to flip this over to show you, but if some of y'all have dealt with 14 mil or 9/16 main studs, you'll know what I'm talking about. You kind of have to notch the back two studs out in the pan rail to be able to actually get the pan on. So let me get the engine flipped over and we'll take a look at the bottom side. All right, so flipped over here, you can see, well, maybe you can't see. Let me try to get a little bit of light in there. See the, yeah, you can see a little bit. There's a diamond pistons hiding down in there. You can see the sleeves that he installed, and you can kind of see the waggler on the waggler rods. But y'all seen the parts, you know they're there. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of hard to see down in there. A little bit better view, but anyway, what we're after here. See here, the oil pan rail will come and it'll sit right here on the front case. No big deal. But back here, these being such a bigger stud than factory, or even like a 12 mil stud will clear. But these being 9/16 studs, the oil pan is going to sit right here and it'll actually rub this nut. I've seen people shave these nuts, like shave a flat side on there, grind this off, and then install them. I'd prefer not to do it that way. I just prefer to notch the pan, and Steve told me how he does it, so we're going to give that a shot and see if we can't get the pan to fit. I'd really like to get this engine covered, at least the bottom side. I don't like all of this being open to elements, dirt, dust, whatever. I can keep it in a bag, but I trust the oil pan a lot more to bag. So we're also going to have to figure out so on your factory girdle, the pickup tube. Let me grab it right here. So your factory pickup tube will sit something about like that. And on the factory one, it'll sit on top of the girdle. The factory block stiffener is what they'll call it. But with this girdle that Steve does being recessed into the block, we'll actually have to remove this one and that one. I think that was the two it's lined up with. Anyway, the two bolts that it lines up with as a hold down, we'll actually have to remove those two bolts, and we'll have to find a washer that fits in that gap and covers that gap nice, and then we'll have to put the bolts back. So, and when you're doing that, you want to be very careful, because this right here, that joint where this pipe goes into that cast, is extremely easy to crack from what I understand. So you've got to really be careful on not pulling it up or down or either way too much. You want it to be pretty much where it's going to sit. But anyway, that's what we got going on. We got the Wagler HD rods, we got the diamond pistons. Looks like he put new J-jets in there, which I figured. We've got a no limit billet cam. I don't know if I ever mentioned that. We got a no limit billet cam and their DLC coated tappets. I forget the exact size. I can get the cam card out if any of y'all are interested, but if y'all are interested, just comment down below. I'll post a cam card in the next video or something. But you can kind of see the tappets, I believe, through the you can see one tappet right there. But anyway, that's what we got going on. So I'm gonna get it flipped back over. Well, actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the oil pan while I got it right here. Let it dry, so I'll probably bag it back up for now, but y'all stay tuned. We should have oil pan on it here relatively shortly. Alright, so we got our oil pan gasket. Just made us run to the parts store. So we're gonna have to pull this bolt here and this bolt here. That's where the pickup tube, the two tangs here that actually hold the tube itself in place, will bolt down. So we'll get those pulled out real quick, and then get our pickup tube gasket out of there, and we'll kind of run this down hand tight, and then we'll figure out exactly how much spacer we need here. Go ahead and get these. Them two out. And then you can see this is what we're gonna have to try to fix. See, with a pickup tube along the block like that, you're still left with this gap. I'm just kind of roughly holding it in place, but the gap, it don't actually sit down flush with the block. So have to do something about that, but no big deal. We knew about that going in, so we've got a couple of different washers that should work. So I'm gonna get this box cut open and get our pickup tube gasket out, and we'll kind of loosely get this bolted up. All right, one last look inside. Hopefully we don't see in there for a while. But anyway, let's get this pan slapped on. All right, now that that's torqued, we're going to put our oil pan gasket on. Some people may recommend against this, some people may not like it, but I use a little bit of right stuff on both sides of the gasket. I hate leaking oil pans. Alright, we are ready to set the pan on. So I put a real light layer on this side, a little bit thicker layer on the pan side, due to the fact that I beat the snot out of the back right there, and it's not, I mean, it's pretty flat, but it's not as flat as the block is. That's pretty much going to wrap this video up, guys. This video actually, lights went up. Video is probably a little bit longer than I meant it to be at the first, but it just kept going and going, and I wanted to tell you all the little things along the way. But super pumped to have the engine back. It's something I've been working at for a long time now, so it feels good to finally have it. And a huge thanks to Steve and his guys for getting this done for us. I couldn't ask for any better of a job done on it. He done great, and if y'all need machine work, y'all make sure to hit him up. Especially, I mean, if y'all are local, but really, I mean, it's worth the drive to go. I mean, I drove 6 hours, and I would have drove 12 to go to him. So he's in rural Retreat, Virginia. It's right outside Abington, which is where Josh McCormick and David Petrick's shop is. And another huge shout out to him. He actually, a while back, helped me, give me a lot of advice with piston and rod combo, and I told him kind of the power goal that I was after. And that dude's like an open book. He'll tell you anything you need to know. He's not full of secrets like some of these guys out there. He'll tell you anything you need to know. So if y'all need work done, or if y'all just need parts, need advice, what to buy, where to buy it from, he's extremely knowledgeable, and he's been there and done that just about every power level. So both of those guys, Josh and Steve both, they helped me out a lot throughout this build. And we're not done yet. We're close, but it feels really good. But if y'all are liking what y'all are seeing on the channel, y'all make sure to subscribe and like the videos. Comment down below. Tell me what you think of the engine. Tell me if you think that you'd have done something different. Keep in mind, this is not a street engine. This is more of a competition and race only engine. It's not intended for daily driver, that kind of use. So the forged piston deal, I know you can't drive it on the street, but yeah, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'm interested to hear other people's opinions on it. So I guess that's all I got for this one, guys. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe, and y'all tune in for the next one.